What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening, Delco podcast. Today, I'm joined by Tina Heffernan of the Newtown Square Fire Company. Tina, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here.
I'm so excited you're here. I can't wait. We're going to talk Pints on the Square today. And for those that are not familiar with Pints on the Square, how did it all get started?
Well, we were very lucky. There were 5 or 6 couples in Newtown Square who had formed a Newtown Neighbors group, and they were thinking about what was missing from Newtown Square. And they thought a brew fest would be a great way to bring the community get together, learn about some new beers, spend a fun afternoon with their friends. And they set this entire event up on their own about 5 years ago. Well, almost 5 years ago. And we were lucky enough that they decided the fire company volunteers should be the beneficiary of the proceeds from the event. So they started it all and did all the hard work, and then they handed it over to us.
That's awesome. Now, do you remember the first inception, the first one, how many people attended or how many breweries might have been there?
I don't know for certain, but I believe it was around 25 breweries, the first one.
Wow.
And I know there were a few hundred people because they did an excellent job. And it was a husband that loved beer and his wife was into running. So they came up with this idea of a 5K with a brew fest afterwards, and they married it together, and our community event was born.
So this is the 5th, if I'm correct, right? This is the 5th Pints on the Square?
You are correct. We had 2 years off because of COVID. So we've had a little break in the event when there was all the uncertainty about having large gatherings. And now we're back. So this will be the 5th event, and hopefully it will just continue annually from here.
Now, you mentioned 2 things. One, you mentioned running, and then 2, you mentioned a brewery or beer fest. Those get married together. For somebody that's interested in the event and is a runner, talk about what they can expect or what they can look forward to.
Absolutely. We are at a wonderful location this year. It's the Delaware County Veterans Memorial at 4599 Westchester Pike in Newtown Square. I'm sure many of your listeners have seen it driving by at the end of Newtown Square on your way into Edgemont. And they have wonderful paved roads in there. So the runners love it because it's a nice, consistent surface for them to run on. But it's also very family friendly. So we've had people come out with their kids in the strollers, people that just want to walk the event. They're not runners. They're more than welcome also. So it's a very picturesque location as well, because right now it's still all open space at that area around the memorial.
Now, you mentioned kids. Can people bring their dogs and do the 5K as well?
We cannot at this time, just because we don't have permission for that, but that is something we can certainly investigate in the future.
All right. I thought I'd throw that out of left field. So
Sorry.
Bring the dog. Don't bring the dogs yet. Maybe next year. We'll see what happens. So
right.
what time does the 5K start? What time can people get there to start, walking, running, strollering, all those things?
Well, we have something new this year. We have Yoga on the Circle coming to do stretching at 10:30 in the morning. So anyone that wants to come warm up, they will be leading a stretching session for us. And then the 5K will start at 11 a.m. And the Brew Fest runs from noon till 4 p.m.
Noon till 4. Now, you've been doing this 5K, and you have all this beer to look forward to. How many breweries are expected this year? And talk about maybe some of the highlights or some of the ones that stand out for you.
Of course, we're expecting over 50 beers from 25 local craft breweries at the minimum, and we have several that stand out. We have Double Nickel, we have Chatty Monks, of course, the Conshohocken Brewing Company. We have Kenwood, Levante. Pinocchio's Pizza always comes and serves several beers for us. We have Sly Fox, Sterling Pig, 2SP, And from New Jersey this year, we have the Bucket Brigade, which is actually a fire truck that somebody has converted with taps to pour beer from.
Oh, that's
directly
exciting.
out of the fire.
I haven't had that yet.
Me neither. And it's very unique and different. So we're excited to try them this year.
So not to slate any of those that you didn't mention, but you can go on the website for Pints on the Square. You can Google it, because if you're not sure, Google Pints on the Square and you'll find the website, how to register for the run, how to buy tickets for the Brew Fest, the beer festival too. And you'll see all of the breweries that are going to be highlighted there and be pouring for the guests, right?
Yes, I'm sorry. It's Pints in the Square.
Pints in the Square. Thank you.
Yes. No problem. So it's www.pintsinthesquare.com is our website, or like you said, they can Google Pints in the Square and go from there.
You know, all this time, Tina, I've been driving past a lawn sign in my driveway. I should know better.
No, it's very easy. It's very easy to transpose it.
So how many tickets, or how much are tickets? How much do the tickets cost? And you know, what can people expect for that? They can buy them right from service, right?
Yes. And you don't have to do everything. That's the great part about this as well. We have people that just come do the run in the morning. We have people that say they aren't runners. They just come do the beer fest with their friends in the afternoon. So it's $50 for the Brew Fest only. And it's $30 if you just want to do the 5K. And if you want to do both, you're more than welcome. That's $75 for the 5K and the Brew Fest. And we have a $10 designated driver sign up as well. So you can come enjoy the Brew Fest if drinking is not on your agenda or you're being nice to your friends that day. You can come enjoy the other activities at the Brew Fest.
Now, that's 4 hours, 25 breweries, 2 beers each. That's 50 beers for $50, right? I mean, for 4 hours, that is very reasonable. That's just perfect. I'm excited now. I want to start today. That's a great price. And it benefits the fire company, which is awesome.
And it benefits the fire company, exactly. And what I love about it is, I'll be maybe perfectly honest here, I'm not a beer drinker. But what I love about it is you can go taste the 50 different beers and figure out what you like. And then you know what you want to ask for the next time you go out, because you have already tasted it. You know what you enjoy, and you don't have to go through ordering 5 or 6 before you find one that's for you.
That's an awesome point, because you may discover beers or varieties of beer that you may not have heard of, right? But now you may find a new favorite, or if you go out, now you know what you'd like to order at that brewery.
Exactly. Like I said, I was never a huge beer person, and I hate black cherry. But my favorite from the last Pints in the Square was a black cherry flavored brew, and I would have never tried it if I hadn't been at the Brew Fest and someone said, you have to try this sample. And it was amazing.
And that's how it works. That's tremendous. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, can people expect food with their beer?
Oh, absolutely. We want to make sure everybody has plenty to eat. So we have 3 food trucks coming. And first is Delco Steaks, which I'm sure everyone has heard about. And we also have Pinocchio's coming from media that you know is a wonderful restaurant. And then we also have Kona Ice coming that will be providing the sweet treats for anyone that is interested after they had their fill from the other food trucks.
And don't forget, the date is what?
Saturday, September 17th.
Saturday, September 17th. That was pretty easy, right? And we're planning on perfect September 17th weather. Come on out. You're going to have 50 beers. You're going to get a chance to run or walk. You're going to, Pinocchio's. Yeah. I mean, their pizza, their steaks, all their stuff, and Delco Steaks, you can't beat them for coming out, sample all of them too. Have your beers and then you can sample all the food that's going to be there, and you get to kind of water it down or cool your taste buds a little bit with the Kona ice, right?
Absolutely. And we know everyone I've talked to has felt like they were cooped up or not able to do everything they wanted to for the last 2 years. And this is just, we see it as a great family-friendly community event. You can come out, do the run, and then those over 21 only can go into the Brew Fest afterwards and spend time with their friends. It's an outdoor environment, like you said, the beautiful September weather, and really enjoy ourselves after a little bit of a hibernation.
Okay, so for those that are thinking about it, check it out. Go to the website, Google it, Pints in the Square, and get your tickets, because you don't want to have this sell out and watch it from Westchester Pike saying, I wish I could have gotten my ticket sooner.
Absolutely.
Now, there's some questions I'm going to ask you that you're not even sure that you're ready for, but I'm going to ask anyway. Are you ready, Tina?
Go ahead.
All right. Why Delco? What is it that you love about Delco?
Well, I think when you're born and raised here, that's all you know. And you're so proud of where you come from. It's your hometown. I've lived in Newtown Square my entire life. My parents still live here. Obviously, the majority of your friends and your schoolmates live here. It's a wonderful place to raise a family, and also a wonderful community that supports one another. And that's what I think is so special about Delco.
All right. I know Delco Steaks is going to be at the Brew Fest, but if you're looking to grab a cheesesteak, where are you going?
Oh, that's a tough one. My husband has actually converted me to Jim's Steaks.
Okay. But you might be able to convert him to Delco Steaks, or one of the many other number of amazing cheesesteaks that's coming out of Delco, right?
Oh, absolutely. Delco is wonderful. He really has made it a mission of his to try out all of the cheesesteaks in Delaware County. So it varies week to week, I think.
Well, if there's any time you need a reference for where to go, our good friend Jim Pappas of Cheesesteak Adventure, he has a whole list. He has a whole thing he does with March Madness, and he's a great resource for cheesesteaks. But if you're thinking, hey, I'm not really looking for a cheesesteak today, where are you going for pizza?
Oh, I'm a Pika's girl.
Okay.
Sorry, that's been going on for 45 years. That,
like you said, it's Newtown Square, and there's traditions, right? And Pika's, you said 45 years. That's the tradition.
It is. I was lucky enough to have parents who were raised in Havertown, and Pika's was always the Sunday afternoon favorite after church and the pool. So that was. And we're lucky enough to have them in Westchester now, so it's a little bit closer.
All right. So you have friends coming into town. There's something you want to take them to or send them to get that Delco experience. Where is that? Where are you going? Where are you sending them to?
I have to say, I always take people out of town to the Rose Tree Park.
Very cool.
I just think that's one of the hidden gems in Delaware County. They have the wonderful concert series all summer long, and they have beautiful memorials out there for the fallen firefighters and the police officers killed in the line of duty. Plus, it's such a beautiful open space. It's something that's very rare these days in the county. So that's one of the nicest places, I think, in Delco.
And you get it on a windy day, you can see that huge, beautiful flag, the American flag waving in the air. I just love that.
Absolutely. And there's so many amazing things out there. They have a story walk for the kids. They have bird watching groups that are out there. They have a community garden that grows, that people can have their own plot of land to grow their own vegetable gardens. It's just one of those all-in-one places that you can go enjoy an afternoon, and anyone you run into there. So many people take their dogs there. You always find friendly people there to talk to, and from all over Delaware County. Awesome.
Now, if you need to stop off and you need a convenience store, you go into Wawa or Royal Farms?
Oh, Wawa.
Wawa. Tell me,
But
you're
in my
the...
defense,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, in my defense, we only got a Royal Farms in Broomall very recently, so it's been more for proximity distance wise than anything else.
You don't have to defend anything. You made your bones. It's Wawa. That's the end of the story. All right. Let me ask you. You're the president of the Newtown Square Fire Company. What are some of the responsibilities day to day that you find that you work with all the, what are some of the things that you do?
Well, of course, we're always recruiting volunteers. So right now, one of the things we're doing is we're very excited. We have a younger group of teenagers who have just joined, and they're doing a basic fire school at the firehouse. So that's getting them prepared for when they go to actual fire school through the county. So on a typical day, you're helping out with membership, always telling people, hey, did you know your fire company is mainly volunteers wherever you go in Delaware County? Have you ever thought about helping out? When people think, oh, that's not for me, but there's so many jobs there that people can do. There's administrative tasks, there's running to the bank, there's a million things that have to go into running a volunteer fire company, helping with the fund drive, writing thank you notes. I mean, even if you're not thinking firefighting is a job for you, there's so many other activities that you could help out with and really support your community. It's telling people about the great things the fire company does and how they can get involved if they choose to.
And really important to understand that no matter whether you're a volunteer there or not, when you need the fire company, they're showing up, right?
Exactly. And that's, there's a big statistic that they've been quoting in classes for years, but back in the 1970s, there were 330,000 volunteer firefighters in the state of Pennsylvania, and now there's less than 33,000.
Wow.
So when you hear numbers like that, you wonder what is going to be the future of this. And people need to understand that, yes, they do get support from the different townships in different ways, but volunteering without the people coming in, volunteering can't continue forever without support, whether it be helping out as a volunteer or if they're financially able to support their local fire companies through donations, whatever they can do. It benefits everyone in the community because, like you said, nobody ever wants to have an emergency, but when you do, it's nice to know when you call 911, there actually is a fire company showing up.
So that's really important. Come out to Pints in the Square, enjoy the Brew Fest. This benefits the fire company, so you can maintain that budget, maintain that new truck, all the facilities, so that you're there when somebody needs you.
Absolutely.
Is there anything, Tina, we haven't touched upon on the podcast tonight that you'd like to make sure that people know about, be aware of, or anything that you want to share?
The only thing I think I forgot to mention is that we also have live music at the Brew Fest. We have a wonderful band that has been there before, and they always add to such a great atmosphere at the Brew Fest. And we have such wonderful vendors who are coming and setting up tables. So not only is it the Brew Fest, but you can come get information on other wonderful things. In past Brew Fests, we've had a tree expert that was giving out trees to people, little stems that you could go home and plant in your yard. We've had banks that were running raffles, or the local hair salon that was giving out gift cards. It's just everybody from the community coming together to have a great day. So I think I would be remiss in not mentioning that we have such wonderful vendors that are going to be there as well to also entertain you while you're enjoying the different breweries.
Every time you share something new about what's going on here, I get even more excited. So now you've got live music, you got vendors, you've got beer, you've got food, you've got friends, you've got community. September 17th, You got the 10:30 stretching for yoga. 11 o'clock, there's a 5K. And at noon, the Brewfest kicks off, 4 o'clock, noon to 4. This is awesome. This is wonderful for Delco. And everybody should be there. And make sure that when you're there, you say, hey, Tina, I heard you on the What's Happening Delco podcast. You were awesome.
Thank you so much. Yes, please come by and say hi. I will be there. We're very excited, and we hope to see everyone.
Tina, I can't wait till the 17th. Thank you so much for joining us on the What's Happening Delco podcast. Thanks for being a friend of What's Happening Delco, and we will talk to you soon. And we're going to see you at the Brewfest.
See you there. Thank you.
Thank you.